said, we are going to be covering more of charts. Then we'll move on to macros. For those who are in accounting or who do repetitive tasks, you can automate your tasks with Excel VBA. We are going to cover that as well today, so that you can cover a lot of ground. So on charts, the charts that you see in the reports, etc., there are best practices that we should follow when selecting the charts to use for each visualization. Okay. For example, we have categorical data where we have a region, where we have product category, where we have product type, etc. Those are categories. So for that one, mostly bar charts works for that type of data. But when we are now want to visualize trends over time, line charts are best for that purpose. And when we want to illustrate proportion, for example, you want to see male versus female, or boys to girls, or you have fewer categories, preferably less than 5 or 5 to 10 categories, to say maybe you want to view contribution of each branch to the total company profit. If the branches are few, maybe 10 or less, but mostly 5, you can go for a pie chart to show the proportion, to say this one is contributing 30%, this one 15, this 20, etc. You can go for pie charts. Then when we want to visualize relationship between two variables, for example, you want to visualize the relationship between market spending and profit, you can visualize using a scatter plot, where you can plot market spending on the x-axis or profit on the y-axis, something like that. When we want to visualize distribution of data, we can go for histograms. Then radar charts compare multiple categories, where maybe the first category will be on the outside, the following in the inside, and the same applies to what we call donut charts for that one. Then when you want to visualize geographical data, maybe you are collecting geocoordinates when you are doing your data collection, and you can as well use maps to visualize your data. You can visualize your data, maybe sales distribution over the map of Zimbabwe or over the map of Africa. Heat maps for density distribution on large data sets. You will see that when we'll be doing Python and machine learning, heat maps, they work there when you want to see density and relationships. Then bubble charts for three-dimensional data. For example, compare revenue, cost, and profit in 3 dimensions. We go for bubble charts. Then donut charts emphasize specific part within a work. So donut chart, it can work the same function as a pie chart, but it can also visualize maybe 1 to 2 categories, where the first category will be on the outer ring, then the second will be in the middle, then the other one will be the inner. But you need to play around. You need to be careful when you are selecting these charts. Okay. Are there any questions before we move on to the practicals? Hello?
No question.
Understood. That's fine. So maybe just to spice up a bit, someone may ask, what's really the purpose or the fuss about the visuals? Ronald Coase said, if you torture data long enough, it will confess anything. So charts, they help us to do that. And the Kick said, graphs give you a feel for the data that you simply can't get with raw numbers. If you give you a raw data set, like maybe this one, you can't tell us anything. But now when you give you these charts, you can now see maybe the trends or something that is happening, or the distribution of sales within the category. So the charts, they help us to get maybe a picture that we can visualize using the raw data sets. So that's it on chart. So these are the pivot charts that we were doing, but for now we'll proceed to do bar charts in the meantime. So open up your machines and we get going. Please, if you have a chart that's there, you can delete it or push it somewhere. Then you can compare. Right? Right. We want to maybe synthesize what we did yesterday. Can we select our data for the table which is saying sales on the sheet of bar charts, and let's format that as a table. Choose a format of your own, maybe that you want. I'll choose. Let me choose this one. I want font to be black. Once you format, you can give me a thumbs up so that we can proceed. Okay. So the good thing of formatting your data as a table is when you want to build charts or select the table, you can just click anywhere within the chart and say insert. Here we want to insert this this chart, so you can come here and select this one. So select here, set, click this chart. So insert, let me delete so that I can start. So I've said if you have already formatted your data as a table, there's no need to select the entire table. Just click anywhere within. Insert. We want this one, clustered column chart. Select this one. And now you have what? Now you have your table. Confirm when you are there. You must not be left behind. Vanessa, Tatenda, thank you. Sifo, are you there? Greatwin, are you there?
Not yet. Sorry, just take that again from the top.
Sorry? Okay, should I repeat? Maybe let me repeat. Sipo, I didn't get your confirmation.
Yes, please. If you could just repeat.
All right. I'm saying at first, let's select our data. Come on home, format it as a table. Choose maybe a table of your choice. From this option, I've selected this one. So I've said if you have formatted your data as a table, there's no need now to select again, especially when you want to select it. Just click anywhere, then come on insert. Now we want to do those basic charts, not pivot charts. So we are starting with the basic charts. But what do you want to do? So for this one, we have month and pause and ATM, which are categories. So I've said for categorical data, we should go for bar charts. So for this one, since we have two categories, pause and ATM, we want to visualize maybe sales. Maybe this is a bank, right? These are sales on channels, whether they could be cash withdrawals via a POS machine or via ATMs. So to visualize this, we can use what? A clustered column chart. So you click that, you get this one. You get a chart like this. confirm now if you are there.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Sipho, please confirm. Okay, fine. Let's proceed. So we want to do formatting. So for this one, listen very carefully. So you see that this chart doesn't have sorry. Sorry, I'm attending someone who wants to join. Okay, so we have this chart. We want to do formatting because you need to tell your audience what chart is this. We can give it a name. So yeah, if you click your chart, there is a plus sign that comes, then something like a brush, which is chart styles, then something like a filter. So let's go here. So for you to, if this chart title is not coming out, you should come and click here. Chart title, maybe data labels as well. But for data labels, if you click them, your graph becomes messy and dead. So on this one, you may not need to use the we may not need to use the chart the data labels. So let's give it a chart name. You can say sales by channel. So sales by channel, we can highlight here, and we want to bold it. We can come on home. You can give it a bold name, something like this. Maybe you would want to format, give it a border, but I don't want to do that. I just want it to be plain, something like this. You can come also here. Maybe we need a legend is there. So a legend is necessary. So a legend is like your key. Remember those who did maybe geography in form 4, you were required to include a key. So a legend is a key and it's necessary. It then tells us that blue is POS and orange is ATM. And for the same, your legend, you can format it. If you click this right arrow here, you can then format it to be on top, or to be on the right, or to be on the left, or to be on the bottom. But I need it to be to be on the bottom. So I'll leave it there. Okay. So see, for what are you saying? I'm seeing you are trying to type. Okay. Maybe we can also add axis titles. So for axis titles, that's your vertical, your y-axis. You want to tell people, or the consumers or the readers, to say what is this. You can say this actually the total sales. Okay, so they will know that on the y-axis is total sales. You can also change these colors. So if you come on chart styles, you can select select this. Maybe I want to use green for this one. Okay, you can then change the colors for blue. Maybe you would want to put yellow or something like that. So you can change the color to the color that you want. So usually maybe the rule is when you are depicting a decrease, in most cases we like to use a red to give an emphasis or a warning. When you are depicting a decrease or an increase, you may like to use blue or green or something like that. So you should take that into account. So you can do a number of formatting. So for our chart as well, since it doesn't have a border, you can come here on chart format. You can click here, it gives you the border, and you can change the weight, whether you need 1 or 2 or 1.5, but I'll choose 1. I now have my chart as border. So I now want to create my report. The way I do it is I'll come here, select my chart.
Sorry, sir.
Can
you repeat on the borders? Hello.
All right. So on the borders, right? Confirm you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So on the borders, select your chart. So the moment you select, it will have those rounded corners. It means it's selected. So on the chart format, here on top, there's a green formatting. You come here where it's saying ABC, you click one of them here. Or you can click this one or this one if you want it to have yellow borders or something. But I need it to have black. I'll click this one. So on the shape outline, I'll choose maybe the color here board, but I want it to be black. But on the weight here, I can choose maybe I want a border as big as this one, but not good. You just choose, but I need one. Maybe also on the line type, I may need a dashed one. If you need a dashed one, you can then select, but I need a solid one. So I'll select this one. So that's it on creating the.
I think I lost you on chart borders, Alfred.
You lost me on borders.
Yes.
Okay, so what you do is, let me undo, maybe to a point where my chart didn't have borders. Right? Here is my chart. It doesn't have any borders. If you click outside, it doesn't have those visible borders. So click your chart anyway. Here on the far top left corner there, where it's saying format. On the format,
all right.
If you toggle on format, you have this option. So where it's saying ABC on the far left, right? You click any of them, any of the format that you want, where it's saying ABC. So the moment you click that, the border is now there, but you need to change what? Maybe the weight of the border, the size. You can choose here among these one. But I said I need one and a solid border. Maybe shape view. If you want maybe your chart to be filled with maybe blue or green or something, you can add that as well. Maybe I'll need it to be filled with blue. I'll have a chart like this. So you can do a number of formatting. Confirm you are now there.
Yes, I'm now there. Thank you.
All right. Ma'am Manyame, good day.
Good day to you, Alfred. How are you?
I'm
Sorry
fine.
for attending conflict.
It's fine. So we are doing charts. Download chart lecture number 04, where it's saying charts. So for charts, I think it's a bit simple. Maybe we can start together the next chart. So on this one, you can also change on the horizontal axis in just maybe 4 months, right? Then the other thing is I've created this chart. Maybe it's not meeting my needs. Should I delete and restart again? No. Okay. So close to the formatting window here, there's a chart design. So if you click chart design, navigate to that section, formatting, then chart design. Then there's an option which is saying change chart. So let's click that. So the moment you say change chart, it gives you the option of these charts. Maybe you can use this, giving you a stacked one, but I don't want this. Maybe for this one, since it's a time intelligence, I can also opt to use what? A line chart. Because this is the time intelligence that. Let me look for a line chart. I'll click change. Now I have a line chart. So I don't necessarily need to delete and start again. I just need to change. Now I have a line chart. Okay, I will repeat that again. I want confirmation from those who managed to get it. Katenda,
I did. Thank you.
Gretin, thanks. Nyarazo, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Sipo, it's long since I've last heard from you. Okay, that's fine. Let me repeat. Select your chart, go on chart design, change chart type. I want a line chart, since a line chart is also compatible for this type. Maybe I'll need this one with markers. I have what? I have my line chart, and it's coming out nicely. Okay. So that's it on bar charts. Maybe in line charts. I'll repeat line charts again, but that's it. So for charts in Excel, it's so simple. You don't need to sweat. Maybe you need to play around with your aesthetics, and it also depends with your sense of beauty. Yeah, you need to have good sense of beauty. Fusing the colors with your corporate colors, it come out nice. Then on pie charts, right? Pie charts and the donut charts. Assuming you have a shop that have branches in Buruwe, in Vuru, Bindura, and Mount Darwin, and they have sales for January, February, and March, and you want to visualize that. Okay, so I will do it stage by stage. So at first, let's not format this as a table. Let's select our branch name and the month of January, these two, and leave out February and March. Let's just select these two and go to insert and insert here. Select this this pie chart and say insert. Then on the data labels, you can include the data labels. So on the data labels here, there's an option also to, if you click toggle the right arrow and click more options, something like this will come out. So here it's ticked. What do you want to see? It's ticking value, and we also need percentage. So we want to see the percentage contribution to the total of that branch. Okay, we can click that. So right, and the label location as well. Do we need it inside, in the center, or outside? We can say we need it outside, depending on your preferences. Here it was clicking best fit, so it's fitting inside. But I'll click outside, something like this. Then I now have what? My pie chart like this. So just send a thumbs up if you are there so that we can proceed. So thank you. I'm waiting for the other guys.
You're going to have to be patient today.
Sorry?
All right, so I got the pie chart. I'm saying today you're going to have to be patient.
Okay.
All right, I have my pie chart now. Those labels that you put outside, how did you do that?
But you managed to create the pie chart.
Yes, I did.
All right, that's fine. So go on this plus sign. When you are clicking your chart, there are these 3 items that are coming out where it's saying the way there's a chart elements, the chart styles, and the filter. Right? So on the plus sign, on the plus sign, it's saying chart labels. Sorry, it's saying
Yes,
data
I can
labels.
see that.
Data labels. There's an arrow there. This arrow, which is pointing to the right.
Okay.
On the data labels. If you click
All
that,
right. Okay. Thank you.
If you click that, it then gives you these options, whether center, end, or right. But click more options. Choose the more options option. So when you click more options, it will give you the format data labels pane. Initially, the percentage is not there. You should tick that as well.
Okay.
Tick the percentage and also change on the label options below label options. On label position, you can then click outside end.
Thank you, Alfred.
You are now there?
Yes, I am.
That's wonderful. So everyone is
Then
now
I have
there.
a question.
Okay, fine.
I realize the whole background of the chart of the Excel sheet is blank. It does not have the demarcated rows and columns. How do we achieve that?
Okay. I think I'll have to show you, because remember, for us to format towers. Sorry. So if I do this, I will now have the borders, right? If you go on your borders and select all the borders, you now have your rows and columns. So you should click no borders. Confirm if you are there.
Yes, thanks.
All right, that's fine. So the same applies. We can do formatting like what we did on the previous chart. On the legend as well, we can select whether we want it on top or... So on the legend, just click, there's a right arrow there, right pointing arrow. Then there are more options. Then on chart title, it's saying January. January what? You can say January what? January sales. Click inside and rename January sales. And maybe you can click it, come here and bold or italize, or even change the background to something like this if you want. But I don't want to do that. I'll keep it as it is. So that's a pie chart. Now, let's proceed. Maybe for this one, you can just drag it or is up aside or somewhere there. Would want to compare. Now we want to include these remaining 2 months, or maybe let's start first with, let's now select our branch name January and February. Then we insert what? A pie chart again. What are you getting? Select branch name, January and February. I want to see what you are getting.
January only.
January only. All right, that's it. Got it right.
Likewise, January only.
It's January only. Okay, so that's the problem with the pie charts. You can't view data with many dimensions. But for this one, if your data is not that many, we can have a, sorry, hello?
There's someone calling in the group.
Sorry. It's me. Okay. So we have a workaround now. So if you go on change chart design, change chart, right? Still on the pie chart, there is the second one. Sorry, the last one, which is like a bearing or a ring or a donut, so to say. We can use that one. Click the first one. So we have something like this. Confirm. Okay. So which means the first one will be outside. Sorry, the first one will be inside. The second one will be outside. So if you are also to, while it's selecting your chart, it will be highlighting the data that you are selecting. If you come here on the corner and add, maybe increase to match, you now have three, like the three rings. So the first inside, the second one on the middle, then the last one.
How do you edit the third one?
Okay, so you see, I'm highlighting the chart, right? And the moment I'm highlighting the chart, it's also highlighting the data that is feeding into this chart.
Yes.
So if you come here on the corner, bottom corner here, select and drag to the last column that you want, include match, and it's added.
Done.
And others confirm.
Done.
Hello? How are you? Okay. But can you see it now? All right, so that's fine. Please join. Okay. One of our colleagues was having problem with the computer, so I think it's now fixed. So yeah, we can do this, but it's still a disadvantage. It's not looking that nice. But we can go ahead and do formatting like what we did, changing the chart type here, the chart title, you can say sales by month. Sales by month. Something like this. So now we have our chart, but I hope you are seeing the disadvantage with pie charts. So you must use them sparingly, especially when you have multi-dimensional data. But for this one, maybe we would go ahead and use the insert. Let's select our data, go to insert, maybe use a stacked column chart. It will give us something like this. So it will be clear to say per branch, then per month, something like this. So it will come out very nice. So you should know which chart to use given the data that you have. Let's also go to line charts 2D, 3D. So on line charts, like the example that we did previously, it's so simple. It works mostly with the dimensional data. So on time intelligence data. So if your data is not depicting time, don't usually use line charts. Line charts, they work mostly with time. So let's select our data, select our table, go to insert, let's on here, let's select the line chart and let's select the one with the markers. The one with markers. Okay. So line charts, they help us to analyze trends and also detect anomalies that may be happening within your data set. So you see that these principles that we are discussing, they apply to every tool. It's either we are going to be using Tableau or you are going to be using Power BI. It's the same. These concepts, they apply to every tool as long as you are doing visualization. And remember, we are not just doing visuals. We are doing what we call storytelling. So you are telling a story. Because when a user is now seeing this, we'll see that, okay, in July, we had a spike in net one sales. And in August, we had maybe the lowest sales in Econet airtime. And we would want to inquire to say, why did this happen? So remember, in our introduction session, we said we have descriptive. This is description that we are doing. We are describing our data. Then on root cause, we are now trying to inquire, why did it happen? Maybe go to that day, maybe it was a system glitch, maybe the system was rejecting transactions or something like that. So we are now inquiring. Then we can then inform the decisions. So for this one, we are comparing maybe two variables. You see that maybe you need to compare prior to current year and see how do the sales compare to each month. By that, you will be able to detect maybe seasonality that is in your data. So you can go ahead and do formatting, double click here. Okay, say sales trends. Right? Let's see again. So you see that depending on the chart type, they have different formats. Some have limited, some have main. You can include data labels, but you see that it becomes messed up. So I may not need to do that. I need a legend, axis titles. I may need to include it, but a trend line. A trend line is important. So there's seasonality in our trend, but we need to see the direction that the sales are happening. Okay, so let's take, for example, net one. So since this is 2, maybe let's come here come on the chart filter. let's maybe disable Econet and apply. We want to just be left with one, and we want to also include a trend there. So on the plus sign, on the chart elements, include a trend. So we now have a dotted trend there, but let me maybe change the trend color. I want it to be red. Yeah. So generally, you see that the general trend of our net 1 year time sales, it's stable. It's fluctuating, but generally it's stable, because you see that this line is almost a straight line. So you can't tell that using naked eyes. You need to include this trend line. So they help you to do the analysis and also emphasize your analysis. So let's go back and add back the Econet cells that we had. Any questions on this one?
It's clear.
Clear to you? Okay, fine. Thumbs up, guys, if you are there. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, that's it on line charts. They are useful. On statistical. Okay, let's try to do this, but let's skip this for now. It may not be that useful, but it's just categorized that usually when you are doing maybe statistics, to say you are doing your age analysis. But for those who are in humanitarian age, I think you may find this type of graphs useful. When you are doing your age distribution, maybe you have done a survey and you want to see maybe the response according to age, where you are saying 15 up to 22 years, 22 up to 21. So these are called histograms. Maybe let's try to select and insert. On inserting here histogram, so you have a histogram like this. So for the formatting, it's usual, just do the same age distribution. Even those who are in different sectors, when you want to see maybe customer segmentation.
I think you can repeat on that one.
Okay, so on this one, so our data is formatted as a table, right? So on insert here, we are choosing this one, this option, and statistics charts. So on this one, we are selecting. You can even select box and whisker, but we want this one. First one, histogram. You now have a chart like this. So that's it. You have your chart. So you see that the first bar is 1 to 36 years. The second one is 36 to 71. Sorry, these are serial numbers. Then the third one is 71 to 106. So it's grouping into clusters. So maybe you want to do clustering of your data. Maybe you want to do customer profiling to say what are the sort of ages or the sales bands. Maybe you want to analyze the sales to say at which range are the sales distributed. You can use these histograms or the statistical charts. Clear now? Confirmation, guys. I got one. Great win. Did you win? Fine. Then we go to scatter plots. So we said scatter plots, they help us to see relationship between variables. Maybe this could be height, or we can say this is marketing spending. And sales, or height. But for simplicity, we are saying we want to see the correlation or the relationship between height and sales. But as height is increasing, is also weight increasing. So what we can do is, let's select these two, height and weight. Then on insert, let's click this one, line. This one, we now have a chart like this. But for this one, I think we need to include the trend line. So a trend line will help us maybe to see the general trend. So it's like there's a positive correlation, but in you would see that from 0 to 30 it's weak, 30 maybe to about 40 it's moderate, so to 50 it's moderate, 50 to about 65, 70 it will be strong. Then somewhere there 80 to 100 it's very strong. Okay, so here we have a positive relationship, but it's not that strong. So you are able to depict that maybe this is marketing spending and sales. As we are increasing the market spending, is also sales increasing. You'd want to see that. So we can use these scatter plots to see that causal effect.
Hello, sorry.
Clear, right?
I want to ask something.
Mhm.
You spoke about the inserting the trend line, but if you insert the trend line, it means you need to choose one between the height and the weight, right? You
No,
can't put the trend line when they are both there.
no. You can put both. This is a causal relationship of two relationships. It's different from that one.
Ah, okay.
So if you just come here and click on the trend line, it doesn't ask you anything. It just appears. Unlike when you are using a line chart like what we're doing here.
No, but me when I'm doing it needs me to select. Okay, let me see if I can select both. No, it only gives me one option, and maybe there's a problem somewhere.
Can you select your chart first?
Yes, I've done it.
Then insert, then go to the plus sign and click trend line. Is it working?
Yes, it's ticking the trend line, but I'm not seeing it. When I put on the trend line, it gives me it says add trend line, and then it gives me an add trend line based on the series either height or weight.
Which version of Excel are you using?
2016.
Okay, can you try to click either one of them? But it doesn't make sense for it to prompt you to select one, because we want to see it's two items which are married to each other. So we want to see as height is increasing or as sales increasing as marketing spending is increasing, is sales increasing at the same time. So I don't think it should prompt you to put anything.
Okay.
Yeah. But in case it does, try to select both or one at a time.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. We have waterfall. Those in accounting. Waterfall may be a good friend, especially when you are reporting your balance sheet. Waterfall charts are good friends. They depict things very nice. I'll pick this one. So let's select our balance sheet. So is this a balance sheet? No, it's not a balance sheet. It's an income statement. Let's select it. Insert here. This one, waterfall chart. So the waterfall chart, it shows the increase and decrease in the total. Let's try to enlarge it a bit. So we have gross revenue, which is the main. So it now shows the contribution of each component. Cost of goods sold is negative. What else? Operating expenses are negative. Depreciation is negative. Income interest is positive. That's why it's blue. And also tax. So we have a tax. Is it tax hued? It's also positive. That's why it's blue. Then at the end, profit after tax is a loss. So it's shown as well as negative. So trend, these waterfall charts are good, especially when you are viewing such types of data that is cumulative increase or decrease. So it's a good way also to do visualization. Confirm once you are there. Perfect. Vanessa, you are quiet.
I'm here, Alfred.
Ah, wonderful. So that's it on waterfall charts. Let's go to we are almost there. Area charts. Area charts, they are 3D. Like remember that case when we wanted to visualize a month, then the channel and a month. So the 3D, they can help us to do that. They are beautiful charts. So let's select this data. So online charts, we are starting with these ones. We go to 2D, but we need 3D, something like this. Select the 3D, this one. So here it's saying the quarter, then the channel. Maybe if it's suiting your needs, you may need to go for it. But at times, because it's shaded, it may not be able to visualize some of the superimposed values. For example, here, that one, which is saying DigiPay, which is on the last line, it's not visible. So that's also the disadvantage of it. So you can also include labels, etc., or you can do the formatting, among other. Then, sorry, before I go, before I proceed, I need confirmation. Everyone is okay? All right, cool. So we have an animal that is called a sparkline. Okay, we also go on insert. I want to clear what I did before. Okay, so usually when you want to view your trends side by side, this animal called a trend line is a good thing. Yeah. Let me delete this. So you can also do the same where it's showing the trend lines that we done before. You can select all those columns and delete so that you can start afresh. All right. Suppose you want to visualize trends over time. Suppose these are the sales of maybe my shops that have been happening over time, and I want to see the general trend. On the same chart with my table, I can come here and say insert. So on inserting here, where it's saying line, come and choose here. So your line will prompt you to select your range of data. So for me, I just want to maybe to visualize the total sales from January to December. Then I'll click OK. It will give me something like this. But what I need to do is I want to select my rows up to N, and I merge center. Then I increase maybe the height of my what? Of my line. Then I will also include markers, something like this. So it also helps me to, maybe I'll also include a thick outside border here. It then helps me to visualize the general trend in my total sales over time. Instead of me going to look at each number month by month, I'll just look at this trend to say, okay, the peak sales in June and the lowest sales maybe were in February and May and August. There I'll start to do investigation to see what caused the drop in sales. And if at some point in time you manage to get to that high of about 189,000, why is it that we reached that level? So I'll start to make investigation. Okay. You can also change this maybe to columns. Yeah, where it's saying lines, you can change this to columns. But I prefer lines because it's a beautiful idea of maybe combining your table and your chart. Another way to do it is like, suppose I want to view maybe branch by branch. I'll come on this column, say insert line chart. So on my data, I'll select from here up to here for that branch. Then I'll just drag my formula down. Then I'll maybe expand a bit. So I now have what? So I'll see that maybe to this branch, something was wrong. Something was not right there. It had many spikes, drops, and increases. So I start to investigate. Because here, maybe it's also the branch that caused a spike in June. Here I started at the grand total. Now I'm going to on granular level, branch by branch. So I'll see that branch had a spike in June. Maybe it's the branch that caused those sales, because most of them, they are a bit stable, and also in November it had a spike. So they help me to do that. So that's the beauty of using spikes. Are you there?
Amaspike up under Sarah. Tiri kuhighlighta grand total tobva taenda pambi.
Masara, all right, I'll repeat. Tatenda, do you get it? Okay. Right. So the way to do it is, my first month is starting in row C, right? January. Okay. So I'll come in the C10 cell. I'll highlight that. Then on the insert, I'll go to insert and insert a line. So on the line, on the data range, I don't want the individual months. I just want the grand total, the total sales, month by month. So I'll select from C9 up to N9, right? And I'll click OK. but my line will come out like this, but I want it to extend so that each point will correspond to each month. So I will highlight up to December in row 10 and merge send, right? And maybe increase the height of my row. Then come on formatting onto my sparkline. I will select markers here. I want it to have marker. So each point is corresponding to its respective month. Maybe you can try that before we proceed.
Line ari kubva kupi ndopa ndisiri kuona inini ndaenda mucell C10 but kuti ndozotrigger line rachona kuti ribude ndikuenda papi?
All right, you are in cell C10, right?
Yes.
Go on insert.
Okay.
Right, we are doing the same like what we are doing on charts. So close to the charts on the far right there is the
Okay, I found it.
ribbon sparkline.
All right.
So you are inserting that. So when you select sparkline, it prompts you to input the data. That you select a range from C10 up to N9 on your grand total. We click OK. But your line will be in one cell. We want to merge it the same like we did for the data selection. We merge this and we increase the height. We come back to the sparkline, we add markers. We can maybe select the format that we want. Like I did before, I said you can even add thick outside borders. Here maybe you can add a title to say this is the trend. So confirm about Shika.
Just pop merge up. You said how do you merge?
So
I've got my
so on merging, you have your sparkline is now appearing, right?
Yes, it is.
So shift right, select that row up to December. The empty row up to December. Up to N10. We are selecting C10 up to N10. Then you go on home, and on home there is this option of merging send. Then maybe you can then adjust your height. You have something like this. You are now there. Cool. Maybe one last time, let's do for each month like I did before. Let's go to line 05 for branch Lupane. We want to do branch by branch now, but maybe you want to do it on the side. Let's increase the G. So while it's highlighting 05, let's insert sparkline. Then we select data for that branch Lupane, January up to December. And we say OK. Then we drag our formula down up to Zvishavane branch. So for this one, it's now the trend line for each shop. Give me a signal if you get it. You can go ahead and format, adding the sparks. So the sparks, they help you to see the points. Tiri kuwina here, guys.
Which range are we selecting for the side ones?
Select the range that is corresponding to that row. Pekutanga pa O apa tiri kuselecta lupani from January to February. So for this one, we are selecting from here up to here. To select a line 5 only. From C5 up to N5. Then, the moment we do that, we just drag up to the bottom. Excel knows that when you are now here, it's corresponding to the corresponding row. Are you having joy? Hello, guys. Guys, confirm. Vanessa, wawina.
No, andisati ndikuti ndikaenda pa C5 handiti C5 ndopa clicker then ndo clicker line iri kubva yandudza data range, right?
Yes.
So ndikutrya
Go in.
kuti
Okay, go in. Maybe you can watch while I'm doing it. Go on
okay.
O5.
Okay.
O5. While you are clicking O5, insert.
Okay. All right.
Line.
Okay.
Then it prompts you to click the data range. So when you are selecting the data range, you are now selecting from here up to here. Line 5.
Yeah, right, I think.
Great win.
Papa, we are still together. Shika, where you are with Vanessa. And then on expanding the line to show when it's bigger, that's where I'm lost.
Expanding the line.
Yes.
Okay.
And then how do you show to make it bigger?
You just increase drag the row and increase. Increase your column width. Then you just come on the corner and drag your formula down. And it applies to all the other lines. So in Excel, you don't need to type for every row. Just put for one and drag. That's fine. So basically, these are the basic charts in Excel. So the moment you manage to master these ones, you'll be unstoppable. Because the idea, like I said, on charts is to tell a story. We must not tell people parables. They must be clear. Don't try to confuse anyone. Just tell the story as it is. Okay? Maybe I'll also touch a bit on pie charts. We did this. Sorry, on pivot tables and pivot charts. So let's go on raw data. On raw data table. Second from the first. Let's select our data and format it as a table. On home, format it as a table. So when you format it as a table, while it's clicking inside any point inside that, let's go on insert. So on inserting, under the charts, click pivot chart and table. Then take the default new sheet and you take you to a new page, a blank page like this. So confirm you are now on the page.
No, Changi is up.
Alright, that's fine. Let me repeat. Okay, we are saying we are our table with raw data. So you see that this is a sizable amount of data, typical of the data that you may have. It's a lot, and we want to summarize this data. So to summarize this data, the best way that we can use is what? Pivot tables and charts. So let's select our data, Control Shift, right arrow, down arrow, we select our table. Shortcuts are important because suppose you may have million rows. So shortcuts, they help you to do your job easier. So on home, format this as a table, choose a format that you want, right? Having formatted your table, we said if you format it as a table, now there's no need to select the entire table when you are doing manipulation and charts. While it's clicking anywhere inside, insert. So on insert, on the charts, select pivot chart. Then on pivot chart, select pivot chart and pivot table. It will prompt you either new chart or existing chart, say new chart. Okay, so like this. Now, suppose I want to, you must have the picture of what you want to do. Maybe I want to visualize my sales over time. Here we don't have total items sort, but we can just use maybe total sales, right? We have total sales. In 2017, it was low, then 2016 low, 2018. So we have this. So we have a chart that we have. Maybe we would want to change this to, maybe we would want to visualize by region. So I put it on the legends here. So I can now visualize it by what? By region. But the good thing is, when it's a date, it is a hierarchy. On the plus sign here, I can expand to quarter, then to month. I can as well reduce it. But for this one, I can change my chart type to, let's say, a line chart. I can now visualize my sales by month, by region, something like this. But maybe at this level, it's fine. Okay, maybe we can delete this, or let's not deleting as such. We can just untick. We can untick everything. Maybe we'd want to visualize by product or sales by salesperson. Number of items sold by salesperson. For this one, a line chart won't work, but we need what? A column chart, something like. So we can say salesperson 12 made the most sales. So the pivot charts, they help us to do summarization, like the question that was asked to say how different is it from the other charts. So you see that for all the other charts that we're doing, all this data was summarized already. That's the disadvantage of this chart. The data needs to be summarized. But for this one, you see it's raw data. The actual sales lines, sales line by sales line. So they help us then to do the summarization. So you can play around with all those types of charts that you have. All the other charts that you have, they are there. The method is just different to say these are pivots and the other ones are ordinary charts, but the chart selection is just the same. I hope I haven't lost anyone.
I'm totally lost.
You are totally
I
lost.
don't know what's happening to my chart. The select a salesperson, the select a date, a number of items, but ikutongobuda last 3 and 2016,
All right, can you remove date from there?
2017, na 2018 chat.
Can you remove you selected the salesperson?
Mpama dates select year's date, quarter's date, month's date.
Can you remove date parts? Months, quarter, and a year. Can you untick that?
Okay.
The date is selected.
Yeah, data saraka selected.
Untick. Only tick salesperson and number of items. Only untick everything else.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
I think you should have something like this.
Yeah. Thanks.
So if you now want to visualize something else, maybe you want to visualize by region, I'll untick sales, maybe and tick region. So the disadvantage is you cannot have many charts on the same. If you want to do another chart, you need to come back again and insert a new chart. Pivot chart and table. Maybe I'll select existing. If I want all of them to be on the same, I'll select existing, maybe point somewhere here and say what? Here. Maybe here I'll select by product and the number of items sold. I'll have something like this. Okay, so our recap tomorrow will touch much on pivot charts because they are important. For these ones, they are very important. Maybe let me demonstrate a bit on. Maybe you now want to create a dashboard in Excel. Just add a new sheet, a blank sheet. So maybe just try to pick the charts that we did. Select Control C, Control V. Maybe what you can do here is you want to build a simple dashboard. Maybe when you can include all of your charts, just try to select maybe a small area, something like this. Right? Maybe I'll put a border. I'll now come and so just pick any of the charts that we did and say Control C. Maybe I'll go to the bar chart, the line chart that we did that time. Control C. I'll come and paste it here.
Sorry, sir. The background here blue you may create as a
Okay, let me show you. Right, so to create this background, okay, maybe select maybe a number of cells, maybe from C up to V, like what I did. Let me undo. Right, maybe select from B2 up to U2, then maybe you can drag down up to row 26. Right, on the on the home where it's saying background, you can just choose a background that you want to use. I've chosen this one. Then while it's selecting, you can even include a thick outside board, something like this. So I want to come in here and paste my charts there to create sort of a dashboard. Because a dashboard is a collection of charts. I'll include several charts. So today I will be sending one of the projects that you should be doing on charts. It's covering what we are doing, what we did, and up to this stage. Maybe I want my chart to be blank. I can even come and pick another chart just for you. Just put any chart that you want, that you have, that is close to you. I'm picking okay. So you can do a lot. You can even come and pick the scatter plot, paste it here. So on this one now, maybe you want to share with your boss. So, and you want to avoid a situation where you will be going sheet by sheet trying to see the chart. So what will happen is, if the data source changes, this chart will change. That's the beauty of it. Maybe I want to come and pick this pie chart, paste it here. Maybe I'll come and pick this and put it here. So I now have my my dashboard. So maybe depending on my data, I can then include all those filters. Suppose on this one, I want to include a slicer. On raw data, I can include a slicer. Maybe on region and the product. Then I'll copy them to my dashboard. So I'll use them to slice my visuals. Unfortunately, my machine is starting to misbehave. It's because the data is a bit bigger, but at the end you have your dashboard. So on this one, is just playing around with your sense of beauty. I don't know if you have questions here. So I'll copy these ones, paste them here, maybe on this side, and I'll use them to filter my data. Unfortunately, I think this is only pertaining to the pivot table, but had it been that it's pertaining to all these ones, it will be filtering. But you have what? Your filter. So you have something good. Maybe before I move, I just want to show you a bit of how then to create a report. It's not necessarily Excel, but after this, you need to send the reports maybe to someone else to consume, whether you are sending as Word or PowerPoint. But before I do that, I need to know if there are any questions on this one. Hello?
Yeah, I'll revisit the recording tomorrow morning because there's a lot that I need to catch up with.
All right, that's fine. Okay, so suppose you want to create a report. Okay, so you can search PowerPoint on your machine or a Word, but we usually prefer PowerPoint. This is now my PowerPoint. I may give it sales analysis report. Mind you, this is not necessarily part of Excel. So one trick is I have copied my charts. For me, to save time, I have them in my history. So if you say Windows, Control Windows V, it shows you all the history of the things that you have copied before. So I'll try to use that to save time. So for you, you can go and copy one by one. Maybe I'll put this one first here. Maybe let me sales analysis report. Let me use this as first page. Then I'll come here. In fact, this should be the first page. ABC company. Okay. Yeah. Sales. Maybe if that's the name, I'll click Windows key and V. So it has history of everything that I've copied. So I'll just select. So you need to know these shortcuts, right? Then maybe on the side I'll insert a text box. I will maybe to include commentary for my reviewer or my manager to see. I will say this. There was a sharp rise in July due to XXX reason. And you can include everything that you want to do. I'll maybe put a second page. On the second page, I'll maybe include, say, channels. Here I will come, maybe I'll delete this. On my history, I want to look for the items that I've copied. I'll say maybe this one is sales by product. And if you want to include a commentary, you come on insert on your PowerPoint and you insert a text box here. Right? Then you put what? A comment. Your comments here. And I don't want to turn this into a PowerPoint class, but when you are on network and on PowerPoint, if you come on designer here, it will generate some of the designs on PowerPoint that you can then include on your report. Here it's failing. Let's go on the second one. Yeah, here. So it's giving me possible. Then go on the second one. So it's generating possible formats that I can do. Maybe I can add another page. Let me go on my history. Okay. I can say sales by channel. On the designer, I can let PowerPoint help me to choose a format if I want this. So the PowerPoint that you see people presenting in meetings, they are just created this way, right? You can generate your designs that you want. Maybe if you want this, but I don't think this is a bit good. I'll keep this. Yeah, it's failing to generate. I don't know why. But you then save your report. Okay. So one thing, if you then change something in my Excel here, where I have copied these visuals, right? For example, let's come. Which visual did I use? Maybe this one. Let's come and change this maybe to 1 billion or something. We must be seeing the change to the PowerPoint. Is it there? So if it's on network, if you refresh, if you save and refresh, the effect should now be populated here. So that's the beauty of it. So it's like it's connected to your Excel. So I just thought we should highlight this area, though it's not part of Excel, but that's the reporting part of it. When you then share the findings with the consumers, whether you are doing it in PowerPoint or in Excel. I just thought of sharing. Any comments or any questions, guys?
No questions.
No questions. Thank you, madam. I think for today, I think we have covered much ground. But maybe before we go, I want to introduce a concept that we are going to do tomorrow. Maybe just in brief, in the next 5 minutes or so. Okay, so for those who are doing routine work, there is work that you do almost every day using the same data set. You receive the same instructions, same everything, day in, day out, and it's routine work. So using what we call macros, you can actually automate your analysis process using Excel. So that the moment you receive your next data, you just call your program and it does everything for you. Okay. All right. So suppose you receive your data. Let's take the first one. Data like this, it may not be the same data, right? But it's the same format, same format in terms of the columns. If it's A to F, employee ID is in column A, employee name is in column B, department is in column C, salary is in column D, hire date is in column E, performance is in column F, and you receive that data same each time you want to do an analysis, right? And you have to do it time and again. You can automate using what we call macros and VBA, but in this course we are going only to do macros. So for macros you automate. So if you go on the developer, just check if you have the developer ribbon on your machine, or on the bottom left there is this tab that's there. If it's not there, you can come here and right click on the bottom of your Excel. You can come here and right click and tick macro recording if it's not ticked. So the moment you do that, it will be shown, it will show this item.
Which Excel are you on?
Or this one I haven't shown you, so maybe
Which
you can
Excel
just
are you on, Alfred?
I haven't shared this one. Maybe
It's an illustration for tomorrow's lecture.
Yeah, for tomorrow's lecture. I'm just illustrating so that tomorrow we won't spend much time. I'll share maybe a small video as well. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Okay. So to do macro recording, what you have to do is, like the moment where we're formatting data, creating charts, you can automate all that, so that you just click a button and Excel will do that for you. Right. Suppose we want to format this data, right? And the next, maybe this data that we receive tomorrow will come like something like this, right? So let me delete this. So I want to do the exercise that I'm doing. So for me to do that, I'll click on recording here. So the moment I click this, I'll give my macro name, say sales analysis. I'll give it a shortcut. I'll maybe shift, control shift. So here is a trick. Excel has its reserved shortcuts. So please don't create your formula or your macros in all already existing shortcuts. For example, Control C is copy, Control Z is undo, Control A is selecting all. So to avoid that, you say Shift, maybe then say H. I'll say S. Control Shift, yes. Maybe I'll give a description. I don't do that. I'll say okay. The name is not correct. Okay, it doesn't allow spaces. I will say sales analysis. There is already a macro assigned to that key. Okay. Control, I will say A, Shift A. Right, it worked. So there's no macro that is in A, and you can't store a macro in another reserved area. So the moment I do that, see that it turned from being a round to a circle. Macro is currently recording. So I will now do all the exercises that I want to do. Even the mouse clicks are being recorded. So you must do only the steps that you want to do. I want to format my table. Sorry. So you must use these shortcuts, especially when you are selecting downward. You must not do it manually, because if you do it manually, it will just end in 16, even if the new data set will be around 1000. So let's say I want to include borders, thick outside border. I'll come here and say here, do this, right? Here, come here. I want to format this maybe as a date. I'll say short date. This is United States dollar. So all these steps are being recorded, right? Maybe I do that. I want to create a pivot table. I'll format this as a table. Then after that, I insert pivot chart and new sheet. I'll do that. Maybe I'll need by department and total salary. And on this, I need data labels, something like this. And maybe I would need to include, right, I'm here. Then I stop my recording. Suppose this is the process that I go through every day. I'll stop my recording here, right? Come tomorrow, I receive a new data. This is the new data now. Okay, so here, what I'll do is I'll say Control Shift A. Control Shift A. Because the security settings, macros have been disabled. 10 to 10 on macros, you need to open this workbook. Okay. I see. You need to save it as on the Excel format, you need to save it as Excel macro enabled workbook. Okay. Then you need to call Control Shift A. Unfortunately, I think there are security settings that have been disabled in my Excel. I'll have a look at it maybe after this call, then we'll repeat it tomorrow. But the thing is, after you call that macros, it will do the process that I've done up to a point where I have this I have this graph. So you don't need to do it manually. You just call your macros and it will repeat. But your data need to be in the same format. So it saves you time, especially when you are doing routine work. We'll do that much tomorrow. I don't know if there are any questions.
I wanted to add to say, I realize my Excel doesn't have developer. So I just Googled it. You'd need to go to options and enable it. Maybe for others who don't have it.
Yes. You should go to options and enable it, like what we did yesterday. So we'll do that. So this one is a beautiful tool. Maybe if you want to extend, you can do VBA, but on VBA you will be coding now.